For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast of over 40 years of playing PlayStation, 10 plus years of games meeting. But I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time on podcast services including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. at the aforementioned Daylight Savings Time Zone on those YouTubes. But if you'd like to join us in future conversations with us, you can. Come and check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links are in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. And in the chat, the mullet show goes, yay, bed, because as I said, I found a stein in my movement of items today, and I put beers in it. How are you, man? Are you drinking a stein of beer?
No.
You are.
No, I have to work in a couple of hours, so beer's not good.
I have work in the mornings. This is a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see where it takes me. But you do have like half a liter of fucking iced coffee.
Yeah, I got half a liter of iced coffee to keep me going through the night.
Fine.
Because I have to work tonight, and then again for the public holiday on Tuesday.
Ew.
And like I had organized, like literally a couple of hours ago, I organized a play date for my kid with like my cousins, my auntie's kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a kid about a year older than Hadley, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we do swimming lessons at 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll be home by 11:30." I'm like, "Cool, I'll come out at like 11:30." And I'm like, "That was fucking dumb."
I normally wake up at 12.
I normally wake up at 12, and Ellie's not working Tuesday. I could have slept all day.
Oh, why can't Ali take him then?
So I've rescheduled it to
Yeah,
1.
good call. Yeah, Ali could have taken him. That'd have been weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, how's things?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah,
Too bad. Been pretty crazy.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played some games.
Oh yeah,
Did some
funny
shit.
that.
You know, the usual.
Cool.
You?
Yeah. Yeah, about
Played
the
some
same.
games. Did
Yeah, played some games, did some things, you know. No, I did the same thing. Very low key.
Did some mowing.
Oh my god, holy shit. All right, let's talk about that. So,
I thought you were going to do it last week.
I was going to, and then I didn't. I got well distracted. So, and then the weather was kind of trash too. So,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, so in my property, I mowed
You
the
don't know
lawn.
Max stalked.
Max
Every time I do
stalks
the
me.
lawn.
Wait, did you drive past my house and like see me mowing? it?
Ali did.
That bitch.
She's like, maybe we should get Ryan to come and do our lawns because you never fucking do them.
Well, the problem that I have is I could barely do my lawns. You want to know why? Because I haven't mowed them in like a month and a half because of like PAX and wrestling and James and shitty weather. It was dense. It was like jungle level. As I'm like, like the amount of times I had to like, the mower just stalled, had to pull back, shake the shit out of the bottom, go again. It was like,
I know that feeling.
Oh man, it was thick with 2 C's. MGB is absolutely right. It was
Because I mowed a couple of weekends ago while it was fucking raining, so it was thick and wet.
yeah. So like it was dry today, but because it was pissing down yesterday, like there was like it was like a fucking fern, like a fern tree gully sort of thing. It was like underneath it, it was just like a dampness to it. It was moist and thick. But eventually, yeah, no longer sponsored by Manscaped. But yeah, I finally got through it, and it took a while, but we got there. And I now have a green bin that I normally fill with all of the lawn, with just the front lawn. And I got sunburnt, which was annoying. I'm gonna be sunburnt.
Nice.
Yeah, thick and wet. Max, the PopCulturists. That's the byline right there. But yeah, no, it was a very thick undergrowth. Yep. But I got through it. It just took me a little while, but I got there. It was cool. That was the greatest things I achieved today, aside from playing a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach with my kid, because you know how he just likes shit games, and he's been absolutely in love with this one, especially specifically two characters. And like he's been into it for like months and months. I was like, normally my son is very much like me. He's very ADHD brain. He just gets really into something really for like a short burst and then forgets about it. But this one's been around for a very long time. I'm like, all right, look, you were good. You slept in your own bed for the first time. You gave it a good go at my house. You know, you're really good. You helped me with the lawn. You sweet. This is totally worth it. And plus, because like I'm poor, so I felt like I was like, he's like, oh, let's go to trampoline place again. I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy, I can't afford to go to the trampoline place again. I just felt like a piece of shit dad because I couldn't do the things he wanted. And the game was half price. I'm like, well, I can kind of afford that, I guess. So cool, there we go. Got guilt tripped. Goddamn fucking feelings, you know. It's to my, you know, I've talked about, you know, my goal to sort of be a better person and do the right thing by my kid and prioritize him, etc. But he's using that against me. God damn it! Now I'm hungry and I can't afford food.
So you keep fueling his addiction to real shit games.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's one of those things like, you know, in the past I've bought in Pokemon cards, or whatever, and they were really fun for at that moment. But this is something that we can do together. Like, he loves playing games. He loves playing games with me in the same way I like playing games with him. So this is a worthwhile investment in that we'll likely play it a couple of times in the same way that we played the crap out of Hello Neighbor a bunch, right? That was totally worth the dollars. And no, in the chat asked, actual helping or kids helping? A bit of both. So like I left him. I was like, hey man, did you want to come out to the garden? No, but no worries. We stay inside. You watch YouTube. I'm gonna go do the lawns. Then about 10 minutes, he comes out. He's like, I want to help. I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? He's like, can I help with the lawn? I'm like, cool. So we got to do the whole, like, you know, we turned it on and he stood in front of me and was all very old school parental, you know, him pushing it together.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Old school parental, as in I sat down and then I
No. Sorry. In my mind, when you're like, he was standing in front of me, I'm like, why are you pushing the mower into him?
Yeah.
Like, that's bad parenting.
So yeah, and then because it was so much grass, I just got him to like sweep everything, and he felt like he was contributing, and he was.
And you're like, sucker, got the shit job.
Yeah, and then he gave me the broom, and I did one sweep and fucking snapped the broom. I was like, oh, there you go, cool. But yeah, other than that, like my week's been pretty low key. Not a whole lot to report. Went saw Black Adam on Wednesday, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's probably one of the most by the numbers DC like superhero movies you can ever think of. It's fine. It wasn't bad. Like, I didn't come out of it hating it like I did Multiverse of Madness or like Birds of Prey or anything. I was like, oh, okay. Pierce Brosnan was pretty rad as Dr. Fate. It was adequate. Yeah, that was adequate. It's the most fucking 7 out of 10 movie I've seen in a while. I was like, oh, okay. Cool. It's fine. Like, some of the CG was good. Like the big boss man at the end actually looked pretty good. I was like, oh, they put money in the CG. Sick. All right, nice.
No, DC can fuck right off.
Oh, look, we got James Gunn as CEO of DC, whatever. You know,
Yeah,
that's something. Look, I know you're fucking shitty. Because DC now have then, because of the introduction of the DCEU coming back and Supes is back, Henry Cavill's now outskis of The Witcher, and I know you're all sad about it.
Yes, I am. Like fucking Liam Hemsworth.
As long as Liam's Hemsworth looks just as good as Henry Cavill in fucking tight leather pants, then that's all we can worry. That's all we need to know. Have we seen Liam Hemsworth in leather pants?
I don't know. I don't think I personally have.
I think you should Google that, Max. Let's fuck with your internet history.
My internet history's got way worse shit than that.
Love it. But other than that, not a whole lot to report. Had a great time Friday night. As you know, Friday night, the last 2 Friday nights, I've had an absolute blast with my new friend. She came around, played some music, enjoyed the rain, just kind of hung out. It was very chill. Really enjoyed it. I kind of hope that becomes a new thing. Both the Friday nights and the person. So not just the evening, because Friday nights have been a thing forever, or as long as
and probably will be,
and probably will continue. Like, I'm not something to be like, you know what, Friday nights are a bit fucked. I just want to cancel Fridays. Let's remove him from the weekly calendar. Let's get him out of here. MGP, oh god, my mother very much wasn't happy when she heard about that. She loves The Witcher. There must be a thing with mums in The Witcher, because my mum
was pretty upset.
Your mum froths The Witcher. My mum froths The Witcher. Clearly a very specific demo of women.
Yeah, just women.
just all women, mad raging lady boners for Henry Cavill. All right, what games are you playing?
Me. So, as I've been putting it off for the last 2 weeks due to PAX and other crap, I finally got around to playing Dragon Ball: The Breakers.
Oh yeah,
thanks to the team over at Bandai Namco Australia.
That was the best part. The email come through was like, "Look, do you want The Breakers?" And we're like, "Sure." And then didn't touch it for like fucking 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. So
you did touch it.
Where do I begin? I touched it.
Okay. So for context, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you identify yourself, Max played the CNT, which is almost the swear word, the closed network test of The Breakers, and he did call it a C word. He was not very happy with that. He thought it was horrendous. So the idea of let's review the full game was a bold strategy, Cotton. Did it pay off for us?
Okay, so last night I managed to somehow talk my friend into buying it. And by which I mean, I'm like, hey, I've got to play this. And he's like, cool, I'm buying it now. I'm like, bold strategy.
That was actually a really good argument. That was really easy.
So, we installed it and we jumped on. I skipped playing the tutorial again because it's the same tutorial that they had in the closed network test. Mm-hmm. So to kick things off, Dragon Ball: The Breakers is the later, well, not the latest anymore because I think Ghostbusters is out now.
Yeah, technically.
It's the latest in one of the asymmetrical game modes where it's either Cell, Frieza, or Boo against random Dragon Ball people.
Okay.
Random Dragon Ball people. So, in similar respects to all those other games, you have a set of tasks that you need to do. Essentially, you find these keys in each of the locations. Once you activate all the keys in the locations, you can use the escape pods and escape. Very simple in premise. There's a gacha mechanic where you get your skills out of the game, so you have to either get credits, spend money, or do other things to get randomly assigned characters from the Dragon Ball Z verse, and they will each give you one skill. So, for instance, I got lucky. I got a few 5-star characters, and I got like Solar Flare to stun people. I got like a Kamehameha to attack, and all that fun stuff. I played about 5 rounds last night. It took 20 minutes to connect with my friend, despite having a room code to access. Turns out that if you have a strict NAT type, you just can't play the game. You cannot connect to anyone. I was sitting in a queue for 10 minutes waiting for someone to join my fucking game. Didn't happen. But at nowhere inside the games that actually tell you have a strict NAT type. So I had to go in, fuck with my router settings, because it turns out that when we lost power the other night, it reset all my settings on my router. So I did all that stuff, got my NAT to open again, instantly could join friends. Great. Booted up the game. Literally 2 seconds into the round, Sal finds me and eats me. I'm out of the game. Like 2 fucking seconds. I tried to stun him with the solar flare, and he's just like, whatever, dude, and eats me.
So fuck
I'm
you,
like,
and
okay,
your solar
cool,
flare, monk.
cool. So I'm like, all right, no worries. Maybe someone will revive me. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Next game, literally the same thing happened again. I think I survived like 10 seconds. I managed to like dodge him once, and then instantly killed me again. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play as the killer. I spent about 10 minutes in queue waiting for a game. Didn't get one, so I'm like, bugger this. I'll just set my role type to any. So whatever comes up first, I was a survivor again. Needless to say, of all the 5 games, I think I actually got to spend maybe 10 minutes actually playing the game. Not one escape. I think the enemies won every single time.
Okay.
It's horrendously unbalanced, in my opinion. I don't see how you can win ever as a survivor. The teamwork is just almost non-existent between playing with random players, and because I think it's 6 or 8 versus 1.
Shit.
It might even be 9. I
That
think
would
it's
explain why you get stomped so heavy. But like,
I think they're 10-man lobbies.
fuck.
Not to mention that the enemies can destroy entire sections of the map in one go. So if you get stuck in that area, you just instantly die.
That's
Like,
very
it gives you a warning.
That's very Dragon Ball though.
Yeah, like it gives you a warning and you can escape, but it just seems so horrendously unbalanced.
Well, that's the thing. So like, when you've got say 1 versus 3 or 1 versus 4, you know, like it makes sense that like you need four bodies to take the person down. Relatively not that level of intensity of an overall strong character, right? So like Predator as an example, which is one we played from a review a while back. That was just as unbalanced. The Predator, once the Predator got you, you're fucked, right? And that's the problem. These asymmetrical multis, because there is no level playing field. It literally cannot exist. So the idea of like 1 versus 9, you'd want to hope that enemy's got a lot, like that main villain or whatever has a lot of health behind them, right? Because if just 3 can stomp them, then what's the point? But the problem is, unless all 9 get involved, you are getting stomped.
Like in one of the games, I found a rocket launcher and it just did nothing to him.
That's not a.
It's just like it just did nothing. I'm like, okay, cool. Which is a real shame because I do have a part of me likes those asymmetrical games. Like I have a real fondness for the Friday the 13th game, mainly because it was more fun than it was because of its jank than the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't feel helpless as a survivor.
Yeah.
Like, you could throw those firecrackers on the ground and Jason would instantly get stunned, or you could smack him in the face with a club and he'll get stunned. Like there is some form of outplay potential, but no matter what skills I used, it just felt like it didn't matter at all. Which was a real shame because Dragon Ball Z is a big franchise. It's a franchise that I love, and it's just not hitting for me. It's made by the same team as the Xenoverse team, I think.
Yeah, I believe
and
so,
those games also didn't gel with me a lot. Like the movement and the gameplay style of those games also didn't land with me. So maybe it's a part of that as well. It's that weird control scheme mixed with the unbalancedness of this asymmetrical title that's just not gelling with me, which is a real shame. Granted, it's only a $25 title, I think. $25-$30 title.
$24.95 or $29.95 on the two.
Yeah, so it's on the it's on the cheaper side. It's definitely a lower budget game, but yeah, it's a real shame. Hopefully, that's fixed, especially considering the fact that all the skills are locked behind this gacha mechanic as well. So there's some gambling involved.
Yeah,
to a degree, because you've got to hit those loot boxes to get the skills to level up and make yourself better.
See, unlike yourself, I can't fucking stand asymmetrical multis. I can't stand multiplayer at the best of times because I am not good at multiplayer games. Period. And then the idea of having to, be better than I have trouble like matching someone when we're on equal playing fields. So the idea of then having someone who could just decimate you, I'm like, nah. To me, there's no incentive in that. There's no incentive to keep playing. And I was thinking that maybe the IP of Dragon Ball would help with that, but no. I'm not a big fan of 80s action movies. I enjoy them, but I'm not like in love with them, say, is like our friend Dylan is. So for him, the idea of a Friday the 13th game or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that's coming out soon or Ghostbusters or Predator, that gets him right moist in the front area. That's about as moist and dense as my fucking front lawn. But for me, the idea of hearing about that, I'm about as moist and fucking dense as my lawn now. It's nothing. It's trimmed down to the bone. Nothing gets me about asymmetrical multis. Period.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Dragon Ball, hoping it would get me there. It didn't. I'm glad I haven't played it because there's much better things I'd rather be spending my time with. But do you think this is granted, first impressions are the most important. This game could be dead, and it will likely be dead. But do you think this is survivable in any way? But then again, even if they don't, it's $30 game, which is fucking.
I mean, I think if they balance it and then just add some, I don't know what could be done. Like it definitely needs to be balanced, but I don't know how you would go about it to make it a close to level playing field where the because in an asymmetrical multiplayer game, I feel that you'd want the killer to win like 55% of the time.
Yeah, just
I think
enough.
I think I think it needs to be just enough. And at the moment, it's probably sitting at like 80.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure
Like,
Evolve had like a better ratio.
Yeah.
Like I never played it, but like from
Because there is multiple ways to escape. So there's the collect all the keys from the areas, unlock and bring the spaceship down. When you're close to, I think, being like a lone survivor, similar to that of Dead by Daylight, when you can use the trapdoor, there's single escape pods that you can use as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the Dragon Balls, but I've never managed to collect all of them, so I have no idea what they actually do.
I should bring in Shenron normally.
Yeah, but like I don't know what can you wish for just victory? Like I don't know what that gives you.
I presume it's a wish for victory,
like in a gameplay sense. Like I don't, yeah.
Yeah, from an end game idea, I believe like it would make sense for that to be the decision.
It's like obviously in Dragon Ball franchise, everyone either wants immortality or to wish the dead person back. So like,
maybe everyone comes back.
Does it just revive all of the down?
Yeah, but why would they though? Because the second I'm down, I'm booting out of that lobby. I'm not hanging around.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. And the other thing that I've been playing is I picked up Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
You said you weren't going to last week. You're a liar. Jesus doesn't love you.
On disc, which was a mistake.
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. But it's real good.
They
fixed all the issues that I had with multiplayer.
Shit.
You can't bunny hop anymore. You can't like dash around like a maniac. It's good.
Will I still hate it?
Well, basically, I bought it on disc because I'm like, maybe if I don't like it, I can at least just take it back because EB have a money back return policy. So like if it sucks, if I don't like it, I'll just take it back and get my money back. It's the one benefit to having a disc console. But yeah, I think I'm gonna hang on to it. I'm really enjoying it. The campaign is sweet. The invasion game mode, the big 15v15 or 20v20, that's mad.
That's one I played the most of in the beta, and I had a fucking blast.
I was playing with some friends last night because they're like, we're not getting it until Christmas. I'm like, I've got it. And they're like, we're fucking getting it then.
Shit. do we have enough Patreon dollars to cover this? So I don't have to fork out of my pocket.
I
will hate it almost instantly. Because we don't talk to Activision enough, and I'm pretty sure 5-Star now handle Activision. There used to be a company called Houseman, and we all know how 5-Star just hate us. So
we need to remedy that.
I still don't know. Okay, for context, everyone, you always hear about people getting blacklisted in games media, right? Many years ago, we were working alongside a company called 5-Star Games. They're a distribution company based here in Australia. I asked for a review code of Jurassic World Evolution on PlayStation. They said no. I went, no worries. And I bought it on PC because it was cheaper. And I played it. And I streamed it. I did some content. And then a little bit later, they hit me up going, hey, where's your content for Jurassic World Evolution? I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't send me a code. So what are you talking about? Like, here's a copy of the stream and the content that I did, but you didn't give me a code. Quiet. Dead quiet. And we heard nothing since. No PR emails, nothing. And I think there was some frustration with Metro Exodus as well. I don't know why, but like we reviewed that pretty positively. It was like, this is pretty fun. But yeah, and then the company just went dead silent. And I've reached out a couple of times because one of the people that moved there probably in the last year used to work for Xbox. We had a good relationship with them then. But before that, they used to work for the PR company that was doing PlayStation. So we had an exceptional relationship. So then I'm like, hey, I know that you work here now. Like, we haven't heard anything from 5-Star in a while. Can we chat? Crickets. Like, if everyone would think I kicked the fucking guy's dog. Like, the original guy. You'd think I, sexually assaulted his grandmother or something. Like, it's been dead. And, like, there's some good stuff. Like, fucking Callisto Protocol's getting distributed by 5-Star. Bums
Now,
me
five
out.
star, five star do like all the Atlas titles and stuff.
Yeah,
as
they're
well,
the
I'm
ones
pretty
that get you moist in the same way that
Yeah.
like Bandai does, you know. So fun.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, whatever. So that sucks, but that's hi. It's like hence I'm gonna have to, if I want to play Call of Duty, I'm gonna have to buy it myself, like everyone else. Oh, what a first world problem.
What have you been playing?
What I have been playing is God of War. Can't talk about it. God of War. For those that are paying attention, 4th of November, 3 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, savings time. The review embargo does go up. Max and I will have a review live at that time. It'll be spoiler free. If anything, we might do 2 videos: a regular review, and then say closer to release, we'll probably release a spoiler review. In that we don't want to like drop all of it before release, because that's dirty.
If you have any questions, please
Yeah.
hit us up on socials.
Yeah,
so we
please
can
do.
cover
So
them.
in the comments of this video, in the comments of the last video, or even the preview video, or on social media, please let us know, because we'll answer any questions that you have. Obviously, avoid spoilers, but in a review sense, we'll give you everything you want to know. We just need to know what you want to know. Otherwise, we'll just start talking and gushing and see where it takes us. But what I have also been playing, so thank you very kindly to the team over at Turn Left Distribution and Capcom Australia. I spent last night, the time of recording, Saturday night, with the latest DLC from Resident Evil Village. That's Resident Evil Village Shadows of Rose. So they kindly provided us a copy of the Resident Evil Gold Edition, which gave us all the DLC. But what I really like, the mercenaries and the third person and all the cool stuff. And that's great. Great. However, I just want to play the DLC. So, Resident Evil Village, my game of whatever year it came out in, 2021. Did it come out last year? Yeah, it did. It was my game of 2021, just ahead of Outriders, which I also going to play DLC for this year. So this is set like 16 years after the events of Resident Evil Village. You play as Rose, the daughter of Ethan Winters, the character you play in Resident Evil 7 and 8. And it's all about her coming to terms with her powers that she has, because, spoilers for 8, she's not human but not human. She's made out of fucking mold people thing. It's a whole Megamycete. It's a whole thing, right? Cool. Done. There you go. So in the premise of the game is you are treated as an outcast accordingly, because everyone can sense there's just something wrong with you. You're not all there, and of course, because you know as Rose knows she's weird, she's keeping a distance, sort of keeping some separation between her and the people around her, whether it be school, etc. So she's confronted by a gentleman by the name of Kay, who I believe worked alongside Umbrella, potentially, because they talk about Chris Redfield, etc. And they're like, hey, we know how you can get rid of your powers. You can become normal. We have to go find this thing called the Cleansing Crystal. Okay? Sweet MacGuffin. And see what happens. So then you go to this lab and they're like, hey, there's a little container of the Megamycete, the big fucking mold thing from Village and 7, or Biohazard. And like, well, talk to it, because you're made of the same thing. See what happens. She talks to it. Fade to black. She's suddenly, you're suddenly back. Yeah. Suddenly she's in the village of Resident Evil Village, and chaos ensues. So the DLC I got done in about 3 hours and 3 minutes, to be exact, according to my final play screen.
I just did it in about 3 hours and 3 minutes exactly.
I said, why did I say about? Because I can tell you exactly what I got to do.
It was approximately 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 minutes and 52 seconds.
Oh no, I sent you the screenshot. What was it?
Did you send it to me? I just sent it
in the group chat. So look,
chat.
I didn't expect a long run with this. I was thinking maybe 5 hours, but
wow, shit! I was so close. It was 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 hours, 3 minutes and 39 seconds.
Ooh, I was almost three. Bastards. But yeah, so I was expecting more than 3 hours, but I wasn't expecting like more than 5, as an example.
Did you find it? Because obviously you just said you were expecting a little bit more than 3 hours. Did you not get stuck at any puzzles, or was that they are all kind of fairly easy, simplistic things?
There was one puzzle that got me because the instructions were kind of vague, but everything else was pretty straightforward. So it was essentially a watered down, smaller Resident Evil experience, in that what they did is they took two of the if you remember back to Resident Evil Village, everyone, story time with Betson. If you remember back to Resident Evil Village, that there were 4 primary areas within the game, and then one final big area. In this, you experience 2 of the 4, and the two best ones, which is Castle Dimitrescu from the first section,
and the creepy dollhouse.
Oh,
nice.
So, the first one is like I won't go into major spoilers, but I'm going to give you it's a DLC. Fuck's sake, right? 3 hours. You know right?
So dropped 2 days ago. Fucking full spoilers. Here we go.
Full spoilers. So the main bad guy of the first of the lady of House Dimitrescu, because look, Lady Dimitrescu, fucking well dead, is the shopkeeper. Funsies. He has a mask now. So that was pretty cool. That was a nice twist. So
is that what makes him evil?
Yeah, he has a mask. Yeah, the evil makes a mask. So the main concept of the first one is, hey, very similar to I think Resident Evil 2 and very similar to the original run of Village, is like, hey, here's a statue. It requires 3 things. Go find those 3 things. Bring them back. Put them on the statue. Yeah, Dunskies. Cool. So there's a lot of that Metroidvania backtracking, etc. But because it is a more watered down, shortened experience, it felt incredibly linear.
Okay.
But not in a I didn't feel there was a moment I went, oh shit, where do I got to go?
So I'll ask you because I haven't played it yet.
Yep.
Is it a watered down version of the castle as well? Because obviously you get to explore a lot of that during your Village playthrough. Is it that a lot of those areas are now blocked off because of the events that happen in the game, or is it just it kind of just picks and chooses which areas to let you in on?
Most of the castle is there.
And they kind of just lock doors just to...
Most of the castle is there. There were some areas that just weren't accessible, obviously due to the actions of the previous game. But additionally, like, because the mold thing is still relevant, like it's a different version of it. So as a result, there were some areas that were just you couldn't get to because of the mold. So they did block off some areas, but it kind of shoehorned you in a way that later on you could find a way to unlock it. So it was the house, the castle, slightly restricted, but enough to go, oh, I'm playing the house again. Like it gave you enough of that wave back to go, oh, I remember this, which is kind of perfect. It's what a DLC should be. Seeing as we're playing the game near on a year and a half later, because it came out in January, February of 2021. So it was cool to do that. So then you go into the dollhouse. So the dollhouse was the creepiest fucking thing in Village. It's the creepiest fucking thing here too. You don't have that giant horrifying body horror that you have in the main game, but this is more focusing on the dolls and mannequins and real creepy shit, and this sort of telling this story around Rose and how she sort of sees the world. So it was kind of nice in that each of the castle and the dollhouse, and then the third area, which is kind of very similar to the end area of the first game, kind of hits different story beats. You're not just reliving it for the sake of reliving it. Like, they actually do contextualize some of the story or some of the things that she's doing, which is kind of cool. And at its core, the DLC is very much a father-daughter story. Because spoilers once again. The Ethan character sees a fate at the end of Village, but he returns here in some capacity. So they get to have this nice moment because she's 16. They've actually never met. She knows he's been around. They get to have these cool experiences. And it did get a little teary-eyed because, I'm a sucker for parental stories. Shock horror. I've talked about that before. So there was like some, oh, cool, I see where they're going, and I can feel those emotional beats. And I really enjoyed the DLC. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 39 seconds. A tight run. But I enjoyed it. I really did. Like I said, if I had to then go sort of do, you know, the Heisenberg area again, or if I had to go do the Monroe... No, what's the guy? Not
that shitty fucking swamp fish.
Yeah, I say the island of Monroe because like Simpsons has ripped my brain so hard that I can't remember what it's actually called. Because they rip it off in Tree House of Horror, where it's the House of Monroe. It's House of
Benvenuto was the thingos.
But the idea
it's just the reservoir and the stronghold.
Yeah, no, but it's the island of. It's a reference to a story, like the island, the island of whatever. It's like where the gene splicing sort of premise. That's what it's said. That's its inspiration. In the same way that the Lady Dimitrescu is representative of Dr. Moreau. Thank you, not Monroe. Dr. Moreau. Thank you. Because I remember the character's name was Moreau. I got there in the end. But yeah, so if I had to do that again, if I had to do the Heisenberg shit again, I'd have been a hard bummer. But look, this was really good. I do feel it came out a little bit late. If this came at the start of this year or the back end of last year, I think as it kind of was originally intended, especially with the reverse, it would have hit so much harder. Especially if it came out at the start of this year. This feels like just that too much distance, and like the idea of a 3-hour experience taking a year and a half to develop. I can't. In that context, rough, very rough. But if this was like delayed because of that multiplayer mode, okay, I can work with that. It's a shame that has impacted this DLC and its good time of release.
Yeah,
but Resident Evil 4 remake's right around the corner, and that's what I'm really boned up for too. Very keen for that's March, I think. It's a little bit later than the usual cycle that Resident Evil has been giving us the last couple of years. Very excited for that. But look, it's $30. You get third-person mode in the main game. You get the 3-hour DLC. You get the mercenaries if that's your thing. You get more RE-verse if that's your thing. There's enough here to justify your $30. Like $10 an hour, that's less than minimum wage. It's pretty sweet. I can work with that. I enjoyed it. It's a good 8.5 out of 10, I'd say. Seeing as I thought the main game was fucking exceptional, and hence my game of the year last year. More of that? Hell yeah. More of the best parts of that? Hell yeah. Absolutely love it. Other than that, I think I played a little bit more Gotham Knights.
I played a little bit more Gotham Knights too. I will mention that I have now unlocked the Red Hood's traversal skill.
Yeah.
And it makes the game slightly better.
Yeah. I've unlocked the Robin one. Does make the game better.
It still doesn't allow me to fucking jump across the islands.
Yeah.
Because basically I think Duty put it brilliantly. He has the jumping boot, the magic jumping boots from Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. But he can't go up in height. He only goes down. So you just slowly fall to your death.
Unlike Nightwing, you can just fly up and keep going on forever. But anyway, if you're curious about our thoughts of Gotham Knights, please go to the YouTube channel. Please go to the podcast. Check out the chat we did with Duty. Duty's a fellow content creator that we met drinking beers at the Play On event. Absolute legend of a person. Also, go check out their channel. Their channel is fantastic. If you like really good reviews that have a bunch of memes mixed in them, Duty's your man. Absolute Duty's your man. Other than that, once God of War is out of the way, I think I might go back to some PGA for some good fun. Because outside of that, there's not a whole lot for the rest of the year, I don't think, that has me excited. Like, apart from Callisto and Midnight Suns, that's about it.
Final Fantasy, motherfucker.
I reiterate my point. Callisto, Midnight Suns. Nothing else is getting me excited.
All right, well, here's some titles that may get you excited coming to PlayStation Plus Essential.
In a section we call Inform the Players, we tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. You got a segue, Max. We've been doing these segues for 200 and something fucking episodes. They sucked then, they suck now, but we still got to do them.
Well, as I alluded to, on the back end of the announcement of Wolong Final Fallen Dynasty.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what
we are getting Neo 2 next
and
next
Neo
week.
Remastered is part of the Bundaroo.
Mm.
That's pretty sweet. And you spelled
so
it wrong, so it's No 2.
Yeah, I know, right? So that's a PS5, PS4 title. We are getting Heavenly Bodies on PS5, PS4. I have no idea what that is.
My nickname in high school.
And we have the Lego Harry Potter collection from PS4.
That third one's fucking weird, but I guess
apparently it's like it goes on sale for like $4.
Yeah,
it's just like a nothing game.
Heavenly Bodies, I don't know, but getting Neo 2 and the Neo Remastered. Neo's
but
fucking
again,
tight.
Neo's also a really niche game because it's fucking hard and it's not for everyone.
Yeah, it's very, obviously it's very influenced by Soulsborne. It took me so long to beat the first fucking boss in Neo 1, like the pirate dude on the boat or whatever. Fuck that. But then once I got into the next area, I was like, double fuck that. Which sucks because I really wanted to like Neo. I really did.
Yeah. The only issue I have with Neo is that I just wish it was more open world like Souls and not self-contained levels.
Yeah, but
because you do missions in each level, and then each level it just changes slightly each time as you do a different mission in there. I just wish it was just open.
Yeah, but not quite like like Elden Ring open, but like the Souls.
Just fucking open it all up. Throw 30 million bosses at me at once.
That game's the butt. Speaking of butts, Discord. So Jim Ryan totally promised that Discord was going to come in early 2022, and I don't mean to alarm him. It's not there. So according to sources for me.
Early 2023.
Yeah. I'm 2022. I meant 2023. I'm sorry. I've been busy flying around Brussels and complaining about Call of Duty. According to sources familiar with the subject who spoke to industry insider Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, Discord integration will reportedly come March 2023, March 8th to be accurate. I went from vague window to exactly this day. Henderson's sources provided the clarification following an update to the Discord mobile app last week, which showed PS5 and PS4 functionality. Apparently, voice chat will only be available on PS5, with PS4 users only being able to display the name of the game that they are playing. Disappointing. Discord could present the solution to cross-platform play's greatest issue, that of voice chat between competing systems. It is believed that the integration will arrive as part of a PS5's V7 to version 7 update. Obviously, these things can change, as we have been expecting Discord integration to be added for some time, and of course, this is all
James Ryan's BS.
Yep, all speculation. Speculation. That's the New Zealand version. Speculation.
Speculation.
It's very South
Look, as long
African.
as it's not the bullshit app workaround like Microsoft have, don't mind waiting. I guess. I mean, I've waited this long. What's another couple of months? It's a shame that we haven't gotten it already, considering how much money Sony's kind of thrown at Discord.
True,
but it is what it is.
Look,
better late than never, right?
Yeah. Look, as long as it comes eventually. Like,
you know what they say, an app that's rushed will never work, but an app that takes its time.
Look, it's bad enough we butcher that quote all the time, and then you double butcher it. Look, it's one of those things. Yeah, look, I understand it. But things take a long time. But like,
just waiting for Dylan to just jump in the chat now and yell at me for getting it wrong again, like he did last time.
But I do have to wonder, all right. Because everyone's like, why is it taking so long? I'm like, well, is this a working from home issue? Like, or is it just like they fucking no idea how to do it? Or they spend so much time doing the Xbox shitty ass version of it that they then delayed it to here. I don't know. I doubt it's as simple as they just didn't get it done in time.
Yeah.
I'm naive, but I'm not that naive. Or am I? No, I am.
About some things, perhaps, but we'll see.
Whoa. Hey, I resemble that remark. Fuck you.
Let's talk PSSVA and Naughty Dog.
That sounds like a sex thing.
Well, could be. They're making babies. It looks like Sony is building a new internal game development team in partnership with PlayStation Studios Visual Arts and Naughty Dog. PlayStation Studios Visual Arts is a company specializing in motion capture, cinematics, and animation. Together, they will collaborate on a, quote, high visibility project, which remains unknown, although they apparently have, quote, a clear vision and a plan to release. This news comes to us via a job listing at PlayStation Global for the position of a senior producer. It is worth noting that the phrasing of the ad in particular is something that we have seen previously, although the specific reference to Naughty Dog is entirely new. The nature of the project itself does remain to be seen, but the last time PSS Visual Arts and Naughty Dog got together, we wound up with The Last of Us Part 1. Does this mean we're getting The Last of Us Part 2 remake?
No, we're getting Uncharted 5, brother. Uncharted
Uncharted?
5. That's all I'm thinking. I say that mostly because, once again, Last of Us Part 1 were working on it, and then Naughty Dog came in and took over. I think this is the idea of, hey, you guys set the groundwork. Uncharted 5 could be a thing. We know that Sony San Diego, pardon me, I almost said Santa Monica, but that's God of War. Sony San Diego, best known for the MLB The Show. The rumor mill for the longest time is that they've had this little side studio going on, side team. They've been working on an Uncharted sequel. And we can only imagine, in the same way that Naughty Dog have been overseeing The Last of Us Part 1, so much so that they came in and got involved, it would make sense for them to...
Kiss and make babies?
Yeah, kiss and make babies and get involved. So... that's what I'm thinking. Maybe they'll talk to that team. Naughty Dog comes in and goes, hey, we're here to party, and we're bringing our new boyfriend. And PS Visual Arts is like, hey. And then they just have this fucking suck fest, and they make a really good Uncharted 5.
Fair enough.
Or they up-res Part 2. They remaster it to bring to PS5. Look, that one's probably more likely. I just want Uncharted 5. All right. And I know your wife wants an Uncharted 5.
Yeah, my wife would be happy with an Uncharted 5.
Yeah. But I want that. That's what I want.
She
So
loves-
what do you mentioned Last of Us Part 2 remake, Part 1 remaster, whatever. What do you think it actually is?
I think an Uncharted game is probably more likely. I think on the back end of how much outrage they got over Last of Us Part 1 version 3, they may think a Last of Us Part 2 version 2 is a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
I hope.
I think so.
Oh yeah, we'll see what happens.
MGB in the chat goes, or they could bring Uncharted 1 to 3 to PC. They could, but that would be handled by Nixxes. That wouldn't be handled by Visual Arts. So Visual Arts, they're more on that production side, where Nixxes, their literal entire role within PlayStation's first-party studios is to port things to PC. That's what they're there to do. And there's been a very conscious decision as to why they haven't moved Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection to PC, is because they're PS3 games, and they look like trash. So... Even if you bring them to PC, they look like old games. Where Uncharted 4 looks amazing. The Lost Legacy looks amazing. So bringing them to PC right now, it only makes them look better. Where as much as the Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 would really benefit from going to PC to help flesh out the story for those that play on their personal computers, it's very, very unlikely that will ever come to PC. Or if it does, it certainly won't be... in a big announcement. It might just drop one day. They'll go, hey, it's going to PC. The distance. That's what they'll do. But you know what? Speaking of games that went in the distance, and I wish they'd come back. The Getaway. Did you ever play The Getaway on PS2? Get the fuck out of here.
I never owned a PS2.
Get the fuck out of here, Max. Why are you on this show?
I had a PS1 and a PS3.
Yeah, nice backpedal. Wait,
PS2 was my Xbox generation.
Yeah, but PS2 is like the greatest selling console of all time, and you
look.
And you're the only one who didn't have one, apparently.
This is what happened. Okay, when I was a young kid, I got a Sega. When the PlayStation 2 was released, my parents bought me a PS1, and then I bought an Xbox because it had a DVD. That's what happened, and then I bought a Wii.
You made some exceptionally bad choices in your consoles back in the day, Max.
No, the Sega was great. The bad choice with the Sega was selling it with 30 games for $50. That was the mistake.
That was a horrible choice.
That was the mistake.
Look, The Getaway, really great game, sort of based in London. sort of a very GTA inspired, but very Guy Ritchie influenced. If you're into those sort of British gangster movies, like the Tom Hardy one that I've been wanting, like I keep seeing clips of, and I kind of want to watch it, where he plays like twin brothers. I gotta see that.
That's brilliant.
Is it really good?
Yeah.
All right, because like with Tom Hardy, either he's making a movie and he's talking weird, or he's making another movie and talking weird. And now he's playing two people that talk weird in the same movie. So kind of ticks all the boxes. But speaking of London, PlayStation London Studio, the developer behind The Getaway, as I mentioned, as well as the PSVR Blood and Truth, which was awesome, has announced it's making an online co-op game set in a fantasy-based version of London, England. So
yeah, the screenshot that they provided, I'll quickly jump in because I don't know if you've seen the screenshot. It's like this neo-futuristic London, and I'm pretty sure there's a fucking dragon up on one of the
Man, that sounds like some Doctor Who shit.
It looks rad.
All right, please send me that message, and then I'll try to explain it to the peoples. In a change of direction for the developer, the game won't utilize any peripherals or gimmicks. This is an out and out PS5 game built on the team's Soho engine. So a couple of things that we need to be noted there. PlayStation London, very known for their gimmick bullshit. They did like iToy and SingStar,
Image Sent,
and a bunch of other things that sort of, bolster like whatever side peripheral bullshit that they needed to do.
Facebook wants to send it.
Facebook's not sending it. Max.
Yeah, give it
Max.
a minute.
Max.
Give it a minute.
There it is.
There it is.
All right, let me have a look. All right, now Facebook's. Oh shit! Hang on. Okay.
Like.
All right, so I'm gonna try to explain this as I go. So we've got a character doing a very Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon pose with sneakers, horns, a yellow shirt, and black pants with purple bow ties on them.
It's clearly a demonic figure because she's got like demon horns, a tail.
There's little goblins and stuff running at her. There's what looks to be a bridge. There's Big Ben in the background and a big dragon about to chomp on a friend. So it's all very stylistic in terms of it's not realistic. It's cartoonish. Okay, cool. Pretty sweet. Lots of bleen. There's a lot of bleen in this picture, and that makes me sad because bleen is a shit color. But yeah, so we should mention the team's built on the new Soho engine. This Soho engine is new. Speaking to GamesIndustry.biz, co-studio head Stuart White revealed the team wanted to explore new avenues and tackle other challenges. Quote, "We definitely wanted to try something a little bit different, and I think this new project really channels our brave value and always allows us to push ourselves on the curious front too. It's an exciting future, it really is." While the project is a more traditional PS5 title, PS London Studio will still try to innovate. Quote, "If you look at our heritage and titles we've done, there are a lot of firsts in there, and that will continue," end quote. Sony is planning to put out 10 live service games between now and 2026, and London Studios' co-op undertaking being one of them. By 2025, Sony estimates that more than half of its overall investment in the PlayStation will be by way of live service experiences. And holy actual fuck, does this look like a live service game. Looking at that picture, it's got Fortnite energy like crazy. Like, it's got, characters that you can clearly customize the shit out of. It's that slightly artistic, softened realism. It's not going to be for me, but the concept looks cool. But what's interesting?
It looks like my name's written all over that picture.
It does look like a Max Cooper game. That's very true. But what's interesting is that they mentioned the new Soho engine. So Soho, for context, is an old studio, an old first-party studio. So that it has a lot of lineage in that name as well. And a lot of the people that left when Soho shut down, they went off and did join Psygnosis. So what's great about this is it's a second proprietary engine within the PlayStation first party. So right now we have the Decima engine, which we talk about a lot. And everyone wants to talk like they know about something about engines. They go, Death Stranding's Decima engine. So the Decima engine is the one that, for those that don't know, was the one that was made in-house by Guerrilla Games for the use of, I believe, Killzone, but most certainly Horizon Zero Dawn, and then to Midwest. And it was what Hideo Kojima Productions used for Death Stranding. Now, understandably, there are a couple other studios that are using it in games moving forward, probably a lot out of this. So my presumption on what the Soho engine would be is that in that the Decima engine is really good at open world third-person adventure games, this engine is going to be built for live services. Because that engine will require a very specific structure, a very specific backend, and will also have to encounter things that probably we'll see out of Jade Raymond's studio. Haven. So something out of Haven. So I'm expecting a lot of Haven involvement, a lot of Bungie involvement in this engine, and So in a world where everyone is stepping away from proprietary engines. An example being The Witcher. So they've been using their engine for the longest time, but they're about to remake the original Witcher using Unreal Engine 5. MGB was used on Shadowfall. I'm pretty sure it was used on Shadowfall. So very few people use proprietary engines anymore. It's either Unity, it's Unreal Engine. There's still a couple out there. There's like Crytek, their engine, the Cry engine, but the problem is that has really shit transferable, like cross generation. We know there's all the games that have problems in PSVR are Crytek games, or Cry engine games, I should say. Then there's the likes of Unity, but Unity is used primarily by small independent developers because of its ease of use and ease of access. And for most people that think about engines when it comes to Unity, you think asset flips. So having a proprietary engine. Also another one is the Frostbite engine over at EA. Using that as an example. So Frostbite had a problem in that it was an engine built for first-person shooters. And then they tried to adapt it and expand it to fit other genres. There was a game that used it recently. Which was it?
Didn't they put FIFA in the Frostbite engine?
No, it wasn't FIFA. It was something else, and it just fucking sucked because of it. So this is why I'm thinking they're doing a secondary engine with a more purpose-built idea. In that we're going to have this one for our third-person action adventures, which is PlayStation's fucking bread and butter right now. Well, let's have this engine over here used for what we hope, as they said, estimates more than half its overall investment will be live service. Then part of that will be a mass investment in this engine.
Well, here, over the last 2 years, the games coming out from Frostbite were like NHL, FIFA, Madden, Battlefield, Need for Speed, Star Wars Squadrons.
Interesting. Okay.
Anthem, which got shit on. Yeah.
Anthem did get shit on. Quite a lot.
Yeah, basically everything's been on Frostbite.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Well, there you go. So that's my theory. Which is pretty exciting, in that the PlayStation are wanting to invest so heavily into that. It's also dangerous, but if they're willing to, like, all right, they're not gonna pivot the entire company into this live service model. If they're happy just to like do some over here and some over there, sure, that's fine by me. That's how I would see it, I guess. Do you have any thoughts?
No, I think you hit it pretty much on the head.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what this is. I think it's a good move to have live service games. That they just need to be aware that, those do take up a lot of people's time, and if they're not good, they just do not do well.
Yep.
So simple as that. All right, let's talk some God of War. With just under 2 weeks to go until launch, God of War Ragnarok has been leaked.
Yeah, it totally has.
So a reviewer has spoiled some sections of the game earlier this month.
Not us.
Thanks to not us, and thanks to a retailer breaking streak date, the game is now out in the wild.
Yeah.
Corey Barlog took to Twitter to voice his disappointment in the title leaking so early, and references. I'll bring it up now. Basically, he's like, I can see the benefit to having only a launcher on a disc version of a game. This would never have happened if this just unlocked a download for people.
Yeah. Spoilers for the next story.
So be super wary. Spoilers are out there. And the game obviously releases 9th of November. So be wary because the internet is dark and full of spoilers and people that will 100% spoil it for you.
And assholes.
Yeah.
Look,
but that's a different side of the internet.
You ain't gonna hear them from us. We ain't gonna be your spoiler givers. At least not consciously. But yeah, as Max mentioned, someone had their their PlayStation built to automatically publish screenshots to their Twitter handle. So that was fun. A lot of spoilers came out of that. Now, as I've been taking screenshots like a motherfucker, as I mentioned in that preview last week, and I cannot wait to share them. I cannot wait.
Our photo mode is coming, but after launch.
Yeah, which is like unhelpful for me, a privileged person who's getting to play it pre-release. I want photo mode now. Yeah, so look, I'm cool. Just watch out, everyone. Like,
yeah, please be careful.
I kind of want to just throw some misleading ones out there just to fuck with people, but
like I did yesterday.
Yeah, if we just throw out like fake spoilers, it'll throw out the real ones, and that's what I'd like to see. Because
yeah, we will not be doing that either.
No. We're just gonna stay radio silent because I cannot wait to share God of War Ragnarok with people. But
I can't wait for you to finish so I can actually talk to someone about it.
Shut up! I spent 3 hours playing Resident Evil. Right. Max was hinting at it before. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. If you thought about buying a physical edition of Call of Duty this year to avoid some big downloads, you'll be disappointed. The disc that you buy has 72.23 megabytes. That's right. Megabytes. It's less than a thumbstick. Less than a very old thumbstick.
10 floppies.
It's less than my old MP3 player that I had in my year 11 high school. So 2006. There is less data on this disc than my MP3 player from 2006. And, on there was like Linkin Park, Jay-Z, Numb Encore, fucking Slipknot, Static X. And that was more than what's...
And the launcher for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Because look, spoilers, you're going to have to download the entire fucking game anyway. So there is one download for multiplayer and 3 separate downloads for the campaign. Oh, and then another one for the co-op modes.
Yeah, so I put the disc in and it did a 46 gig update.
Yep.
And then I had to download a 30 gig patch for multiplayer and then 3 16 gig patches for the campaign and then 1 4 gig patch for the co-op mode. The storage it takes up on my console is about 150 gig. And I got 72 meg on my disc.
Yep.
Woo. So for anyone who was like, I don't need the internet, I'm just going to play COD for the campaign, you're shit out of luck, my friend, because you cannot play the campaign off the disc.
Correcto mundo. So look, so essentially the disc is a launcher, as Max said. It's essentially the privacy check to ensure that you own a copy of it. That's it. Absolute waste.
The $70 DRM check.
DRM, that's the word I wanted. Thank you. For life, I couldn't think of what the word was. But yeah, that's essentially all it is. No, in the checkers, I thought all discs now were just the CD key. Most of them are, but not like this.
Yeah.
Like they still transfer a lot of, they still essentially transfer off the disc onto the console, and the disc itself is used as a CD key.
Well, as Carly Barlog put in his Twitter, he's like, if this was the case with God of War, Corey, sorry, not Carly. My apologies.
It's his sister. His sister comes out and puts hot takes on about fucking Call of Duty.
Like Corey Barlog put on his Twitter, if that was the case with God of War, there wouldn't be spoilers out at the moment due to street date being broken. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so it sucks for everyone playing Call of Duty, which could also be me. Patreon.com/PopCulturists.
Let's quick biddy it up. Square Enix has finally realized.
Next week, everyone. Just saying.
Square Enix has finally realized that the Japanese market is no longer big enough to recoup the cost of their development investments and need to focus more on the global market.
You fucking think? You just sold half your Western studios, you morons. What? Max. Okay, look, for those that may have missed it, Square Enix sold off like all of their Western studios like 6 months ago. Crystal Dynamics, which
Montreal
is
and
Square Enix. It turns out that making super niche games isn't going to be the best. Yeah, Square Enix, you do make really good games. Like I objectively, most of them are pretty good. Some are shit. But like you can't, the frequency at which you would need to release a Kingdom Hearts or a Final Fantasy is not enough to keep your studio afloat. You fuckheads.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla has reached 20 million players.
Why?
Well, people love that Viking. Kojima says that the next project will transcend video games, quote, almost like a new medium, which is, I'm pretty sure, what he said 2 years ago or 3 years ago when he released Death Stranding.
Well, is this a Strand game or is this something else now?
I don't know. The Callisto Protocol has cancelled its Japanese release after refusing to censor the violence.
Okay, look, this is a complete side conversation, by the way, right? Japan's fucking weird. Like, they have anime that's so violent, yet they have, like, all their private parts blurred out in their Japanese pornos. And, like, it's the most progressive and regressive culture ever. I don't know how they do it. It's genuinely impressive and depressing at the same time. So, like, I want to know how fucking violent, how impressive or depressive is this violence that we're seeing.
It can't be that bad because Australia's letting it come
Very
through.
true. Australia hasn't canned it. So, like, Australia has very clear guidelines on what would fail classification. And that's all the shit that Japan lets in. So this is really weird.
Glenn Schofield is already thinking about a sequel to Callisto Protocol.
Makes sense.
Dragon Age Dreadwolf is now playable from start to finish. I don't believe it.
Sure it is.
Deadpool, Venom, everybody's favorite Morbius, and Storm are all part of Midnight Suns Season Pass.
Oh man, I got an email 2K. I've been thinking about it all week and I just keep forgetting. I want to play the living fuck out of Midnight Suns.
Me too. Any chance we can get.
Deuce.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor is reportedly still on track for March 2023.
Oh yeah. Wait, I think that was Man on Frost. No. That may be Man on Frostbite. I think that was the part that was impressive.
Rocksteady co-founders have pieced out and Suicide Squad is near completion.
Yeah, so co-founders and studio heads. So they're seeing through the end of the year and then they're heading on out. So with Suicide Squad probably right around the corner, I guess like they weren't creative leads on Suicide Squad. They were heads of the studio itself. So they would have seen it in more of an overseer capacity, not have such hands-on or, wrist-deep involvement. So having them step away isn't as detrimental to this project as you think it might be. However, having your creators and leads bounce same time, that is a concerning fact. Now, part of me wonders, is this going to be is this due to that Warner, WB Warner Discovery purchase? Like, is that part of it? Because the frequency they're willing to just can shit. Okay, and I was listening to another podcast today, and they're talking about how like X amount of years ago, the Rocksteady made Arkham Asylum. They were working on City, and then they got purchased by WB. And they've essentially made nothing but Batman games since. So is this them going, hey, we built the studio, we made a bunch of money, and it looks like, because right now, they would, in theory, be heading into discussions around what the next title would be from Rocksteady. So right now, they're working on Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. They're like, well, what's next after this? And they're like, more Batman. And then be like, we're fucking done. We want to do something else. So we're going to bounce and go somewhere else. We can start a brand new company and build it from the ground and also not have to make a Batman game. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah. And as you alluded to earlier, the Witcher remake has been announced being made in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, get wet. Did you play the original Witcher?
No, because I didn't jump onto Witcher until Witcher 3. I've tried to go back and play the first two, but they did not age well.
No, they did not. So in terms of games that legitimately deserve a remake, that's probably one of them. But look, the remake's a little while away, as is Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. But here are some games that are coming out this week. On the 1st of November, you get Missile Command Recharged on PS5 and PS4. On the 2nd of November, you get Doraemon Story of Seasons, Friends of the Great Kingdom, PS5, PS4. So if you love farming games and whatever the fuck Doraemon is, brilliant. I own the first Doraemon Story of Seasons. Haven't played it. I bought it because it said Story of Seasons. Hats Up, PS5, PS4. Shatter Remastered Deluxe, PS5, PS4. On the 3rd of November, you get Die by the Blade, PS5, PS4. Ghost Song, both consoles. The Chant, PS5. The Entropy Center, PS5, PS4. Now, I did put a review request in for the Entropy Center because apparently it's like, if you loved fucking Portal, you love this. I'm like, I loved Portal. I want to play that. WRC Generations, PS5, PS4. The 4th of November, you get Bratz for Flaunt Your Fashion. Now, as someone that played a lot of the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen games on PS1 for no fucking reason, because my sister had them, I'd play this. That's it.
Of course you would.
So the major standout there is clearly Bratz, Flaunt Your Fashion. I know Entropy Center's got my attention. And what was the other thing? I closed the list down. There was something else that caught my mind.
World Rally Championship?
No.
WRC?
No,
WRC is right.
No, it wasn't on there. Sister had them. My youngest sister, Ellie, she had them because I had the PS1 and she wanted to play, so they got her Mary-Kate and Ashley, and I think I spent more time playing them than she did. I'll admit that. This game's fucking stupid fun. There's just a bunch of dumb mini games. It was awesome.
Whatever floats your boat.
No, yeah, it wasn't. The Olsen twins weren't they didn't. They weren't really float my boat. I was probably too young to know to then, and once I did
to have a floating boat.
Yeah, I was probably too young to have a floating boat, and by the time I had a floating boat, they both looked like heroin addicts. I was like, that's really not my thing. They did look like shit for a hot window there. I haven't seen what they're doing now, but I'm sure
for a hot window, they just look like absolute. Jesus Christ.
Look, they had fucking crack chic going on. It was tough.
Crack chic.
Look, I wish I had like that crack body, you know what I'm saying? Like, Alright, before I dig myself into a further hole, Max, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, jeez.
Scarlet Witch is not one of the Olsen, the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. That is Elizabeth Olsen. That is the third one. She went off and did well, and she does not look like she's full of crack. She looks hot as shit all the time. I have such a soft spot for Elizabeth Olsen, especially in that like corset jacket.
It's not a hard spot.
Oh, it's a hard spot. It is an absolute. It's a raging hard spot. Like her whole gimmick in Age of Ultron, amazing. Oh, yeah. Please end the show now.
I'm trying to, but I just sent you a picture that popped up on my screen.
Oh
and
my
I can't
god. What have you sent me? It's a door knocker that is a set of ball bags. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
They're $8.
$8? I'd pay that.
All right, everyone.
Oh wait, I can get either as a full dude, or I can get fucking Mr. Tumnus. I can get Mr. old Tumnus's ball sack. That is from Scary Movie.
Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway, moving on. This PlayStation conversation.
I thought it was just a read. I didn't think there was a third. No, they didn't remaster like fucking the Olsen twins. There was another one. It's like the third Hemsworth who's not as attractive as Liam or Chris.
It's just the third Hemsworth looks like the other parent.
Yeah, he looks like the genes, the recessive genes that the other Hemsworth didn't have. They got the dominant ones, and he got all the shitty ones. Shout out to whatever the third Hemsworth name is. That's how fucking memorable he is.
All right, everyone. This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. I'm not sure if it's going to be happening next week due to this week's episode, but in case it does, come and check out our socials, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find all our hot takes over there. But those links will be in the description below.
Look, the show's going to happen. We'll just have an extra one because of God of War. It depends. I don't get fucking cancelled in then because I just made fun of the Olsen twins. Do they have a big stance on social media? Look,
yeah, please do not forget God of War review coming. Put your questions. Hit us up.
Yes, you fucks. I probably shouldn't call our listeners fucks. That's not going to help them. Look, that Steiner beer's just landed. It's sitting very comfortably. If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/PopCulturists, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you can watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment, even the ones that are fucking mean. Some guy commented, this video looks like shithouse. I'm like, oh, yeah, you managed to, thanks, man. You managed to watch the video and leave a comment. You're a real legend, you fucking cunt. I didn't say that last part, though. I kind of wanted to.
It'll be Geralt's new catchphrase when Liam Hemsworth takes that.
Yeah, well, when Liam Hemsworth comes in, they gets that, like, was fuck. But in the new one, now Liam Hemsworth is Australian, he's bringing the C-bomb. So no. So without spoilers, which Olsen isn't God of War Ragnarok? Oh, hang on, I'm gonna think of a funny bit for that. I'll come back to that. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/popculturists. You can head over to our shop at page popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts, other sort of shit with our logos on it. And I'm pretty sure they may have a guest spot as one of those Draugrs that you have to fucking undead skeleton people that you punch on.
No, they play the same character like in Full House. They just hot swap them when they're not, when one of them doesn't want to work.
And you snuck a Full House reference in there too. What a ledge. Well done. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players.
And the Olsen twins.
Yeah.